This is The Basketball Show with Shane the Hammer Heel and Steve Mr. Magic Carfino. Brought to you by Unibet, TCL Plex, and News Corp. What they gonna say next?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Basketball Show. I'm Steve Carfino, and I'm bringing you all the news, views, and previews of the National Basketball League here in Australia and in New Zealand, of course. Let's thank our sponsors, Unibet, TCL Plex smartphones, also with the help of our partners at News Corp Australia. Now it's time. I'm joined by the great and Shane. I've always wondered why everybody introduces you the same way. Four-time Olympian. Is that what you demand? I mean, if I went to 4 Olympians, I might demand that. Just like doctors, sometimes they say, demanding. Call me Dr. Carfino instead of Mr. Carfino.
No demanding.
Okay.
What do you got for me then?
What I have for you? Okay. The man who tells it like he sees it. The man who has got no BS in his game.
There you go.
Shane the Hammer Heel. How's that?
Well, I like it, mate. I like it. But what you're probably not going to be happy with, because hammer time again. I'm feeling all nice, mate. I'm feeling nice. I'm stroking again. And we're going to southeast Melbourne. Mate, John Roberson. How good is he?
Oh, he's awesome.
30 points and 10 for 14, 9 from 11 from the three-point line. And the only critic I've got for him is an advice. Is, mate, when you're 9 from 11, you've got another 4 or 5 up your sleeve. You've got to start spraying them up. He could have got a whole lot more. His shot selection was way too nice for me, but he's unbelievable. He got it off the dribble, catch and shoot, using the pick and roll. He's got a little step back going as well. And great feel for the game. 6 assists. He's a perfect complement for the Phoenix down there.
Okay, we might have to change the segment to stroke. That's 2 weeks in a row that you've stroked somebody. This hammer time, I want you to drop the hammer on somebody or something. Now, I mean, right off the top of your head.
Okay, southeast Melbourne. Turn your music down. It's not a disco. Do people say disco these days? Or is that just old people?
I don't know. Maybe it's just old people. You and I are old enough to say, it is a disco. Disco is dead.
Mate, I was in the lounge and it was like the music was blaring through the TV. Must have been bad there. I know I'm sounding old, but they just need to be able to get it right. Sydney had their balance really right. The other thing is the Bullets. What are they doing? Beautiful new stadium, 2,000 people there to be able to appreciate this good team that's put together. So how do you like that?
I don't know. You hurt my ears,
I'm
man,
back.
The earpiece. Okay, well, I've got a little bit of a rant, too. This one's Carfino's call. The Adelaide 36ers. What's up with you guys? Joey Wright, your team is supposed to embody your personality. Your personality is hostile. This team is not hostile. They look flat against the Sydney Kings. No defensive pressure. They look flat. I mean, the whole team. Daniel Johnson was about the only thing that you had going. You guys pressure, create turnovers, run out of the break. You're not doing any of those things. They look extremely, extremely average. Joey Wright, man, I said he was a prick last year when his team wasn't playing the way he wanted him to play. He's going to be a super prick now, and that's what that team needs.
Some long sessions if he gets wind of that little rant from you. The players are in for it this week.
This is the Starting Five, brought to you by TCL Plex smartphones.
Ooh, the voice of basketball. Was that Rod O with those beautiful dulcet tones? Man, the O is back.
Good to have him back.
All right, also back is Starting Five. And Shane, let me talk about the Sydney Kings. And it's not Jashawn, like you said. Shane says he's so white. It's Jayshawn. Jayshawn Tate. I want you to say it for me.
No, I'm not saying it, but hey, I'm telling you, I like him. The shot clock's on. Mate, he is exactly what Adelaide need as far as that energy, the toughness. I love what he brings. I've still got concerns for the Kings, though. As great as they're playing, if Bo gets out, I still think they could use with a backup 4-5 that's got a little bit more size as an import up their sleeve that they have not used yet. But Jayshawn Tate, he's very good.
Oh, man. At Ohio State, I called a couple of my friends at the University of Iowa, and, of course, that's in the Big Ten Conference. They love him. They said he's undersized, but he's got a massive heart, and he plays with it every single game.
Well, we've seen it, and now you are under the pump. Paul Pierce called for an NBA game in Melbourne, Australia. Can you believe that? We know it's not going back to China. Melbourne's a good place. What do you think?
No. China. Okay, next place, Melbourne. All right. Melbourne talks about they are the basketball capital of Australia.
They are.
Okay, so be it. All right. Oh, yeah, calm down over there. I was just about to agree with all the fine people of Victoria. The way they play basketball, great. And they're rewarded with the NBA coming. They've shown that they can put on a great spectacle. I'm sure that 50,000 people coming to watch USA versus Australia was not going to hold back the decision of the NBA All-Star game coming here.
Marvel Stadium.
I hope it's not like Vegas, though. You know, everybody going there. Woo! Too many people from, I don't say, tough neighborhoods that were just, you can get, I know I'm over, but going and getting the free drinks in Vegas and just taking them off the tray and not paying for stuff, not gambling. Whole lot of people in Vegas that shouldn't have been there. I'm just saying that.
Can we stay with the script? What's the next one, mate? What do you got for me?
Okay, I got something for you. MVP. I know it's a bit early in the season, but 2 rounds right now. Who do you like? Who is hooping? Roberson has got to be one of them.
He's not in my top 3. He's real nice. But Patterson.
Notice I said that boy nice. I didn't say that boy is nice, like my mother taught me.
Okay, man,
yeah, that boy nice.
Now back to Australia.
Yeah.
I've got Patterson. Patterson has been exceptional. Still a little tubby for my liking, but he is looking good. Got a great feel for the game. I think he can be MVP because I don't think a lot of people are taking votes from him. Creek has been unbelievable. He is a man amongst boys so far, and he'll just be consistent. Roberson will take time off him, but also Cotton. You can't overlook Cotton. Come on.
Yeah, he's a great player. He doesn't seem to get the credit, maybe because he's way over in WA. That's why people in WA have such a chip on their shoulder, because he is definitely a good player.
All right, Abercrombie. And he's dunk. I know you know nothing about dunking, neither do I, but that was pretty.
Oh, man. And you know what? The guy he caught, I don't know who he caught on that dunk, But, who he was long and he was a brother. And he looked out there, he saw a skinny white guy.
He will have heard about that.
He just looked at him like, yeah, come on with this. I'm going to throw it back out. And boom, pow, gazing, whatever you want to call it. I know we're old people, we talk about discos, but that was nice. He just threw it down on him. That was serious, and hung and looked at him like he was crazy.
You know the best thing about it?
What?
Steve Adams and his reaction.
No, I seen his interview too. Yeah, I was actually his interview. Yeah, it was tough, eh? It was good. Yeah. A little one hand. He's not a one-hand dunker.
Small hand.
That's what I mean. He was a real tiny hands. I was like, how did he pull that off, bro? What? But yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Yeah, it was really, really good.
All right, okay, let's clean up a little bit. Shane, you called him Steve Adams. His name is Steven
Hey, we like
Adams.
that, mate.
When he signed his biggest contract, he insisted on being called Steven.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure of that. I just threw that one in there. Shane, okay, give us an update. Give us an update on the ladder.
Well, I still think that the ladder's broken down into 3 little parcels. We've got Sydney, Melbourne and Perth still at the top. I don't think they will finish outside that position. It's going to be a race for that 4th spot. Southeast Melbourne are making a play. Interested to see New Zealand, but got concerns about things that are going over there. They've got talent, though, to be able to get it done. Brisbane, and then there's Adelaide, and then the bottom 2, mate, Cairns and Illawarra. They haven't shown me anything at all to think that they won't be bottom 2.
All right, you got it right there.
It's time now for the Unibet game preview. Who's hot? Who's not?
All right, let's get into the Unibet preview of all the games. First up, it's New Zealand at the Sydney Kings on Friday night.
Well, the Kings couldn't have been more impressive so far this season, and they've still got Didi Louzada to come back into the lineup, but they have been. I mean, they've got the best backcourt in the competition, obviously with Casper Ware, and our man in the backcourt is Kevin Lish, forgot his name, but they've just got so much depth and quality. I love what Will Weaver's doing as well. The style they're playing, big fella in the middle. I don't see New Zealand coming close.
Oh, yeah.
11 plus.
Oh, plus I like the way the Sydney Kings play that small ball. I'm going to agree with you on 11 plus. The Cairns Taipans at the Perth Wildcats. Good luck.
It is a long trip to Perth. It's even a longer trip back to Cairns after a 30-point loss. There's no way they're coming close to the Perth Wildcats. Our man Tariko White has started the season like he finished it in the playoffs last year. Bryce Cotton, too much quality.
Yeah, right. Tariko White. Oh, yeah. 11 plus. Tariko White loves the big stage, loves the big shots. All right, Brisbane Bullets at the Adelaide 36ers venue.
Well, I'm going for an upset. I think the Adelaide 36ers will bounce back. Big crowd. They had 6,000 in the preseason. Think this is going to be a massive one there. I think their stadium holds up to 10,000. They will have felt a hard week on the track. I've got concerns about the Brisbane Bullets import position with Singler and Braun. I think they need to make a change. I think they need an athletic four-man that can really play above the ring, a little bit of pop, and they don't want to be stubborn like they were with Stephen Holt, where they just held on to him when they needed to move.
I think they'll be desperate against the Adelaide 36ers. Feel like that they should get this one, especially after dropping one the previous week. I've got the Brisbane Bullets, and I've got them 1-10. All right, Illawarra Hawks at Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Well, Phoenix couldn't have been more impressive. We've spoken about it. They've got quality players that can shoot from the perimeter, playing with a whole lot of confidence. I think they'll get another big crowd down there, and I think they win 11 plus against the Illawarra Hawks, who haven't found their identity. I still haven't seen the big fellas in Boone and Ogilvy work together. They haven't got their starters right. I just don't see them winning that game.
I think
11 plus.
I don't think they'll dominate. I think they'll shoot the basketball. The Phoenix shoot the basketball extremely well outside the three-point line. That's going to dry up at some point. Questionable whether they have the inside game, but I still think the Phoenix is going to win 1-10. All right, the Sydney Kings at New Zealand. Tough one on the road for the Kings.
Well, I've just got question marks about New Zealand. They've got the quality to make the top four and make a run for the title, but they have to prove it to me first before I see them beating a team like the Sydney Kings with so much togetherness, so much quality. There have been so many people come and go out of this New Zealand roster, so we need to see a win before we tip them.
All right.
1-10, Sydney Kings.
1-10, I agree. Sydney Kings on the road playing that small ball that I love. Will's got them playing some excellent basketball, fun to watch. All right, Perth Wildcats, here we go. Last year's grand final replay. Wildcats at Melbourne United.
I'm going to go for Perth in an upset, 1-10, and Melbourne United to start 0-3, only because I'm not sure about Prather, whether he's going to be able to play. Still a few question marks there about Mello and the big fella in the middle getting themselves right into the team.
All right.
1-10.
Tough schedule for Melbourne United, but I think they're going to get it done. Dean Vickerman's got them playing some D. They cannot possibly start the season 0-3, even though Perth Wildcats, tough opponent to get over. So I like Melbourne United 1-10. Adelaide 36ers at Illawarra in the Gong.
I think they win both.
God's waiting room.
Next week. Adelaide win both games next week, 1-10 against Illawarra. That will be a high-scoring game. Neither team plays much defence at all.
Well, I have a lot of favorite parts in the show, but this is one of my favorites here. We're going to hear from our courtside correspondents all around Australia. First up in Queensland, my man Derek Rucker. How did the Bullets go in their weekend double?
Yes, guys, the Bullets opened their new venue Friday night against the Cairns Taipans. The State Netball Center looked great on TV. I'm not sure the crowd was as big as the Bullets would have liked, but nevertheless, everything went well during the game because the Bullets won this one easily. The Taipans struggled once again. The big test, though, for the Bullets was on Sunday down against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And the Phoenix went nuts from the three-point line and knocking off the Bullets. And the Bullets failed their first big test, in my opinion. But look here, there are three big concerns from the Bullets right now. Firstly is offensive rebounding. They're getting pummeled on the offensive glass, especially by the two weaker teams they played, Cairns and Illawarra. Secondly, Matt Hodgson is now the number one big man for this team, and he must play accordingly. He can't afford to get in foul trouble and wind up on the bench. That puts too much pressure on the young developing Will Magnay. But if Hodgson continues to show poor form, I'm probably going to put Magnay in the starting lineup. And finally, the import position must be figured out again. Taylor Braun and E.J. Singler, one of those guys has to go. The Bullets need an athletic forward to make this team a legitimate playoff contender. Hey guys, I'll see you next week.
Well, there you go, mate. See, he's talking sense because he's talking about the same changes that I'm talking about for Brisbane. They're impressive in certain aspects of their game, but I'm worried about that one import spot.
Yeah, no kidding. I think that, like you said, they have to pull the trigger quick, rip that Band-Aid off, and get it going. Who's up next?
Nick Lakovic, and he certainly knows what he's talking about. Lacko, what about the Adelaide 36ers? Any concerns there? And your Perth Wildcats got it done.
Well, it was a game filled with excitement with Jerome Randall returning to compete against his former club, the Sydney Kings, new arch rival and replacement import in Casper Ware. The 36ers, they were completely outplayed for 4 quarters, where the Kings arrived and played with a greater intensity, energy and physicality and exposed the 36ers defence, where the 36ers gave up 16 offensive rebounds and allowed the Kings bench to outscore them 41-14. Well, new import, Eric Griffin, will be the talking point. He arrived at the club with great expectations to transform the 36ers defence with his athleticism. He only lasted 9.5 minutes in this game, fouling out with 4 points and 1 rebound. For the 36ers to have any chance to compete in the top 4, greater expectation and greater responsibility will lie and rest on the shoulders of Anthony Drimmick, former Rookie of the Year from last year, Harry Froling, import Ramon Moore, second-year player Jack McVeigh. If they can't contribute more, they'll fall in the bottom 2 of the NBL for this year. Well, the Illawarra Hawks, they arrived in Perth with what looks like an inferiority complex, losing 32 of their past 33 games. For Bryce Cotton, he attacked this game with a ferociousness, wanting to prove to the league, LaMelo Ball and Aaron Brooks, that he's still the elite talent in the competition. He had set the game up with 23 first half points. The Wildcats forced 13 offensive rebounds and 9 turnovers against the immature Hawks team that wilted under their pressure. The frightening thing for the rest of the league right now is this game only built confidence into a championship caliber team who always thinks that they can compete year after year, especially when they have elite talent like Cotton, Kay, Martin and Tariko White.
Well, he shares the same concerns you do, mate, about the Adelaide 36ers, but I reckon they bounce back this week.
Yeah, I think so too. But my man who's probably got some real positive notes is the man who is covering down in Melbourne. That's right, south of the border. We call them Mexicans, but Paulo Kennedy talking about the Melbourne teams. What have you got?
The NBL has had 21 expansion clubs in its history, and before this weekend, only one had won their opening 2 games. That was the West Sydney Razorbacks more than 20 years ago. And the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix move into that esteemed group. The Razorbacks were coached by the legendary Gordy McLeod, so Simon Mitchell also moves alongside some esteemed company. He keeps some pretty good company with his point guard too, John Roberson, who was the star on Sunday. His ability to get a shot off with the slightest amount of room is remarkable for a man of his size. The Bullets did give him some trouble later in the game when they started blitzing the on-balls. They forced a few turnovers, so I think we'll see quite a few other clubs employ that strategy. But Robeson's a good passer, and with the amount of shooters the Phoenix have got around that arc, if he can get the pass out, then chances are it's lights out. The Phoenix have hit 33 pointers in their opening 2 games. They're hitting it over 50%. That's deadly. They haven't proven yet that they can defend at an elite level, but the opportunity to prove that'll come. They've got Perth in the jungle in 2 weeks' time, but next week they've got Illawarra, and they've got the chance to become the first expansion club ever to win their first 3 games.
Also fun to watch this year are the rookies. Whatever you want to call this thing, prospect watch. Who have you got? 3, 2, 1. What's your order?
Number 3, LaMelo Ball. Last week he was number 2. This week he's number 3. 8 assists. Played some great basketball. I love him. I think he's going to be a star. He's going to be a top 10 player in the NBA, and he'll have a great NBA career. But we're also going to analyse him on what we think now, just like the NBA scouts are going to. He had 15 points. He was 4 from 14 from the field. The biggest concern I've got for him is that his 3-point shot. He's 1 from 11 now for the season. Now, he will have games where he makes shots, but his technique's all wrong. He needs to do what his brother has done now after 3 years in the NBA and change it from this position to this position to be able to make sure his technique is right and it can carry him through. But his overall vision and length and feel for the game, once he gets his defense right, he is going to be special.
Now, why did I know that he was only going to get 3rd? If he shot it poorly, coming from a shooter, he's going to be ranked 3rd, not 2nd. So who's number 2 for you?
Number 2, Will Magnay. He was fantastic on Sunday. Had 13 points, 5 rebounds in only 17 minutes. 1 really good block shot as well. Great feel for the game. His body has transformed from last season. You just see him now that he's 21 years of age, just starting to thicken up a little bit, but got serious pop for somebody in the middle with his size. Athleticism to be able to get up and down the court, can switch on the guards as well. Great mobility at the defensive end. His brother is a pro rugby player as well, so I think he's got a huge upside, great coming from a family of athletes.
All right. May have surprised a lot of people, but not people in Brisbane. Brisbane have been on him for a couple of years now, saying that he's going to be a hell of a player. And speaking of hell of a players, who have you got for number 1?
Number 1 is Kendall Stevens. He's 24, he's a little bit older, but he was fantastic for Southeast Melbourne in a big win on the road. A bit of an upset win too against the Brisbane Bullets, but he made 5 out of 7 3-pointers. He had 17 points and played his role off the bench. His dad, Everett Stevens, who I played against, was just a nightmare to defend. Such athleticism, great with the ball, more of a point guard and creating off pick and rolls, could get to the bucket, a little bit more size. But this kid is good, Stevens, and played his role exceptionally. When you shoot 5 from 7 coming off the bench as a role player from the 3-point line, good things are happening.
All right, you like the shooters. We'll see if LaMelo Ball will shoot it better. Shane, you got to get your way down south to the Gong. You got to get there. Hurry. 7:30 game. And who do you think is going to win?
I actually think the Hawks are going to get this done. Big crowd, great atmosphere there last week. So many people just with the anticipation of LaMelo Ball. He's done wonders for the league, and we'll be down there, and I hope they get the win tonight.
All right. Well, 7:30 is that one. And the show, of course, starts at 7 here on Facebook. Make sure you check that out. And it is Telesport. That's where we do the show from. And thanks to our sponsors, Unibet and TCL Plex Smartphones. I'm Steve Carfino. That's Shane Hill. See you next time.
This is a co-production by News Corp Australia and Closer Sports.